Hello everyone, welcome to one of a few episodes that I have to rush to get to. I was planning on starting a mod building tutorial, step-by-step situation, um, and then Sakurajima was announced, and I'm not sure what that's going to do to the mods that I use, to the mods other people use, or to the work that I've already done. So, with only a few days to go before the update, I figured I would like to go ahead and get what I have recorded and maintained, so to speak, so that if the game does break, if all my work breaks, however the egg rolls, I will at least have some kind of proof. So, welcome to the first of a few episodes. I am MoxxyMods. I enjoy doing building, base building, mostly for views, aesthetics, kind of hangout places in the game. Of course, I do like to play the game as well, but this is all going to be mostly on building mechanics, ideas, how to think outside the box, how to get different results, and this will be the first of three showcases of different bases and building themes that I've been working with on my own. Best case scenario, of course, is nothing breaks, and I simply just get to add new items to the arsenal, so to speak. So, with all of that out of the way, this is MoxxyMod, and this is Palworld, and this is Yamato Village. This was actually my very first custom build using the rotated mod. I have recently come back to polish it, which is why I didn't use my original videos as a hopping off point, because I was learning so much and trying out so many new things that it was hard to keep up. I would have had to done, just tons and tons of videos to try and keep up with the different things I was trying out, and that of course inevitably just didn't keep I didn't keep using it because of course I found something better. So a lot of my building is based on trying to actually incorporate it into the landscape. I do use a mod that keeps buildings invulnerable. I'm really hoping that that stays, because me and my wife have spent a lot of time kind of colonizing the world, so to speak. We've been building outposts and torches that make paths along the way and stuff like that. So a lot of our builds are more aesthetic. It's kind of a feel that it is just kind of here's my box. So technically, the only way into the town is via this nice little bridge that I use, and I'm going to be going over a little bit what I've done along the way. Of course, I wanted to go with a modern Japanese type feel. I'm very into Eastern architecture and things like that, so this was kind of my inspiration. Beautiful waterfalls built into the landscape of the mountain. Really like this. What I did here is I used a cable reel and I stretched that sucker out. You can see right here. I stretched this cable reel out real long to make a bit of a curved bridge. Now, the interesting thing about cable reel and other decorative items and storage items is that pals can't path on them. So although this leads to the wild and there's a path here and everything, wild pals can't walk on this. This breaks their pathing. This also breaks the pathing of pals at home. Now, that means that if you were to use this as a pathway in your base to connect one platform to another, the other platform would basically be dead to the pals because they wouldn't see a viable path to go across. So this is not complete pathing. So this is a great way to block off areas that you don't want pals to go to at all. Or of course to keep wild pals right out of your threshold. So of course this is the entry bridge to Yamato. I just wanted to go with a nice open field. These are wooden boxes. You're going to see that I used these a lot in Yamato because, you know, this being early access, we don't even have Sakurajima update yet. We don't have a whole lot to work with, so I've tried to work with what I have in a lot of different ways. So I've got these stretched out to look like lumber. Of course, got a nice big guy here. You're going to see a lot of these viewing cages. I was able to manipulate the scale of them to get pals and merchants to stand stationary, and I've used that to populate some of my towns. So let me know if you like that. It's really good for keeping your merchants perfectly usable without having to like run after them and stuff. All right, this is Yamato Village. All right, here's my opening bridge. I'm gonna take my time running across here and explain a little bit about what I've done. These, of course, are earthen pipes, the big concrete cylinders that I stood up and shrunk down and fitted onto another very, very stretched out cable reel. I really like this because it feels like in the right lighting, it looks like a more rustic or stained wood. So I did that. You also are going to see a lot of wooden benches. I liked the double size wood planks on these, and the one that goes down the middle, it really leads to the aesthetic of artisan woodwork. And of course, Japan has some of the best woodworking in the world. It's beautiful, beautiful works of art. We got some this is my tower. This is actually different than my original tower. I felt like it wasn't quite up to par with the rest of what I had going on here, and yeah, it got a total redesign. Some of my stuff here is structural. I wanted it to visually look like it was supposed to. This is just a hanging trap that I made, of course, huge, but I made it a big old counter lever or brace. I'm not sure if counter lever is the right thing. I made it a big old wooden brace for my giant building. I tried to make everything look purposeful and well, purposeful, like it wasn't on accident. All right, now you get up here to the town. Here is our guards hanging out, doing their thing. All right, I have just rebuilt this bottom area and changed the entrance from where it says Yamato Village over here to the side. I felt like it was a more natural flow instead of just taking a hard left here and going up here. What I did was, of course, is I moved it over here. I've also changed the way that I've been doing these antique baskets because, of course, these are part of my theme here as woodworking, kind of a natural style village. All right, you've already seen the entrance there. There's Jolt Hog doing his thing. He's electrifying. All right, this was the very, very first building that I built here at all. It has been redesigned, but its entire structure, shape, like kind of where it was plopped down, has stayed the same. I do use a mod, but the mod that I use is not kept updated by the mod author. It's Cowboy on Nexus. He makes different material replacement mods, and this is a special one that he made by request for another user that includes wood, his new wood to replace regular wood, his glass to replace metal, and the concrete to replace stone. Now, not everything has been changed, and you can see a lot of the things are changed. I don't think any of the original pieces, other than the metal foundation, are the same, though. I think the other stuff has been changed. So as you can see here, I really got into the hang of using Rotate It. I started to learn, of course, how to count and rotate and orient properly. It wasn't so slapdash. And this is sort of what has happened. You can place stuff and push it back against the wall later. You can orient stuff. You can copy the rotation of different items. But this is my player house. I actually don't use the player house hardly at all. Um, like anybody else, I'm really, out and about in the town. This is mostly just for aesthetics. Got this nice little balcony we put here. Cut out windows, a shrunken staircase just to kind of get the maximum floor space down here that I could. Of course, usable and functional kitchen. However, like I said, we don't actually use this. We generally use the restaurant that I built in the other areas. This is really just for aesthetics. So, of course, this is the player house. Hope you like it. My wife is a great designer. I do a lot of architecture, and she comes back and does a lot of the designing. She does help inspire me with a lot of my other architecture and the actual physical builds, but she's wonderful for coloring in my line art, so to speak. So this is the player house. Alright. Now it is getting nighttime now. I do use a mod that turns off the lantern, and it's because I like the natural light a little more, and I do have it spread out a bit. So let's see what we got here. Alright. So I'm like walking past all these little things that I've done. Alright, of course, more cable reels here. I tried to use a handful of different items for each of the different bases I've used and carry it over so that everything looks kind of cohesive. And of course here I've used corner caps, cable reels, corner caps, just as a architectural thing. Let's see here. You're gonna see a lot of these benches. This was for pathing. Pals can't get over this. Of course, the tall ones and the flying ones can, but this really helps. Anything from getting stuck, anything falling in the water, things like that. Since using Rotate It and practicing so much, trying to get pathing proper, I've just really got that down. It's been many hours of trial and failure and trying to figure out what does and doesn't work with pathing. I've had to undo and redo many things in order to get all the pathing smooth in all the different areas. So you can be confident in any of these areas that you're not going to have any issues with pathing, clipping, things not going through doorways, upstairs, or anything like that. Now, that was just a cheap segue into stairs. This is a new stairway that I've recently designed. I was using Rotated, of course, to increase the size of stairs, and I don't like the way it interacts with the collision of the stairs. You end up walking like 2 feet above the actual model because of the way the stretching of the collision box works. You collide with the model before you physically touch the model, so you were kind of floating up and down the stairs. It looked kind of silly when someone was actually using it, so I came up with this. It is a little tedious, but as you can see, each one of these is a stacked roof. Now, to keep the scaling proper, I did not shrink it at all, but as you can see, each one of these is just a scaled and shifted roof slot. So I'm able to make these at any slant. This is a 41 degree, but I'm able to make these at any angle or incline. There you go. I'm able to make these at any incline I like, and as you can see, the feet collide really smooth with it. And again, it's really good for collision. No more weird issues running off the sides, things like that. So that's really nice. As soon as you come up here, we've got a nice little relaxing area. Looked over here. This was one of the first places that I realized that I could do different things with this campfire. So I shrunk this down. Of course, I made this a little torch. These are the antique baskets that I was able to scale down into squares and make end caps for my railing. I think they came out really good because they have the cloth topper on them, and I have them at two different heights. I have them at a high height, which is right at the head, and a base height, which is of course about at the shoulder. These are really the only two heights you'll see anywhere, and they are for very specific reasons. The tall ones are more for aesthetic, but the bottom ones, as you can see, there is a campfire here, but running into it will not catch me on fire because there's no collision with it. Now this gives me a really cool fire to look at. It provides light that does not require to be lit, so it's just kind of automatic as you're running around, which is really helpful. Also, like I said, nothing catches on fire. So, you know, it's safe, it's perfectly effective, and it looks nice very visually. Visually, it looks very nice. You can tell that I'm not used to doing this. This is new for me. This is my farm. I set this up in a very let's see what we can do with mods kind of way. I do have a pathway up to the top where I can show you the mechanics of what's going on, but I have a shrunk, like a flattened but raised farm. So whenever I drop, you know, my cow or my chickpea or anything like that, they always run in here automatically because of course they still understand that at this height they do still recognize the farm, so they run right in here and hang out and do what they need to do. And as you can see, I have all of my plants, or all my plots up here, and we're going to go show you how that works at the moment. I did stretch out and smush in the flower beds to make these front planters. And one of my favorite things that I've done here is I've actually used the soccer goal as a trellis above the door, and using rotate it, I was able to put ivy down on the wall and then pull it forward so that the collision was on you know, the soccer goal itself. I think it ended up looking really nice. It does take a lot of work. You have to spend a lot of time putting ivy down, and I get kind of bored with this, so I come back and I place ivy in spurts, so it does look a little better than it normally does right now. But as you can see, I'm not technically done with the ivy. Now over here, I have recently added in my new staircase, which has opened up some stuff, so it's not fully decorated over here. This is one of my favorite areas. This is where I gather wood. I was able to shrink down my wood gathering area. Let me see if I can find it under here. There it is. I was able to flatten down a logging spot, and I placed it just so that when it's interacted with by my Bushi, it looks like he is training. I was tickled when I first figured this out. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I mean, how could you go wrong? Love katana, I love samurai stuff. Please ignore this blue line. I haven't left and come back to the base since I reloaded in, so it doesn't want to read the extended base mod lines. So that is my little training area where I gather wood. I love this thing because of the placement of the logging site. It always centers up with the carpet. Looks really cool. Love it. Here's a little chest for quick wood access. I actually just finished making I Also Cut Wood. This is my main one, which is I Cut Wood, and of course I slash is pretty dope. That's the main reason why most people like katana. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to come up this top level over here on the right side of town. and we're going to come across our first merchant. Now I'm still working on the lighting in this area. I don't like the garish white for here, so I do still kind of have to struggle with the campfire light and the blinking in, blinking out of the light elements. I'll explain that in a little bit. Now, this is a good example of how you can get a viewing cage scaled to work with your merchant. As you can see, I do have the talk option, and it's because the talk option triggers before the collision for the viewing cage does. So as long as you are this far away from the merchant, you will see talk and not see the option for the viewing cage. But you'll see as I get closer here, I'm able to open it. But as long as I'm on the other side of the counter, bam, here we go. Alright. So here's our first little merchant setup. I do have a special seating area over here in the cut. Let's turn this lantern on. There we go. I've got a special seating area within my waterfall tower. It's kind of a executive seating, you could say. Come in here, relax, get a nice view of the whole town from up here. Looks like my guys are starting to wake up. We were able to talk all the way through night, which is unusual for me. Alright, so we've seen the merchant. Our pals are coming down. Alright, let's check over here. Over here we've got some more visual bracing for all the woodwork and platforms up at the top. I just like the way these look. They look purposeful. Without them, everything looks a little slapdash, and with them, things look a little more polished. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come over here and we're gonna show how I've done this farm. And I've left some stuff out here so that you can see. Now what I've done is I've shrunk all these plots and put them at a very specific angle so that all of the planting and gathering and watering, all of that can be done from right below these plots. And what happens is whenever the food spawns after gathering, it hits the slope, slides right down, and they pick it up. Now I have had issues trying to make sophisticated farms where you can stack plots and you can do this and you can do that, and you try to get the most out of these big giant plots. And I would always find an issue where at some point, no matter along the build, what would happen is pals would stop picking up the vegetables. Things could be working for a while, no matter what. And only when I started doing this mechanic did I actually get a fully functioning farm that didn't leave a giant pile of plants that you had to go manually pick up yourself. Because if a pal is carrying something and something gets interrupted with it and they drop it, generally speaking, no other pals will come pick it up. It just becomes dead to the world. Or if their pathing becomes broken in between them picking it up and delivering it. So that could just be an issue that I ran into with all of my broken mechanic building. But this was my solution and has been working out very, very well. It does look strange because although you can resize the plots, the animation of, say, these tomato plants with the sticks in them and stuff, those all ended up returning to the original size, but you can't really see it up here, which is why I have them at this specific angle, so that they do slide down, but you also can't see them. So that is my self-sufficient farm there. As you can see, everyone's just kind of relaxing in here, doing their thing. They're going to stay here and they're going to water everything, and when it's ready to harvest, they'll harvest it. It'll fall on the ground. They'll grab it and they'll stick it in one of these pots over here. Now the feed boxes I have at a forward angle, and I have little benches underneath them. I like the prop forward fruit stand look. This room is relatively unfinished. Once I got all the farm working, I did not feel much like staying in here and continuing to design. So I kind of built and ran here. I will be back to finish this, and hopefully, if things don't break in the future, I will do a video that shows either me building in here and setting this up, or I will do a video of just kind of an update. And now that it's daytime, let's go back and look a little bit at what we already had going on over here. It was night when we looked. Alright. Alright. Katana guy. Let's go back up and show this awesome little hidden room inside the waterfall that you can only get to if you come by over here. I will be finishing off right here. As I was saying, I rebuilt these staircases, so I had to redo the foundations a little bit. But I do plan on fixing that up over here. Here's our special executive seating area where you can see the whole town over here. Everything's nice and relaxing. I spend a lot of time doing views and picking locations before I start building, because I kind of go on inspiration instead of anything else. So we've seen this level, we've seen the first merchant. That's actually the ammo merchant specifically. We've seen the farm. So let's go up here, up this new staircase here. As you can see, it's going to be super smooth as you run up. Oh, I love that, it's so good. Now we have two different areas over here that you can go to. We're going to go up. This is the PAL. This is my PAL bedroom all the way up here. I love it. You get a wonderful view down. The views of this town are really, really, really nice. Alright, we got, of course, this is a fountain that has been pushed down. You do get some pretty cool effects out of the fountains. You know, if you push and pull them and do different things. Of course, this is a big pot that is pushed through one of those tables so that it looks like it is custom fit for it. I was able to resize these beds, and as you can see, they are just about half scale. PAL still use these, they just take up less space. So they get all the benefits of the good bed without you having to worry about building some kind of parking garage for them to sleep in. We just did, of course, that guy's sticking in from the outside. I did use the rotate it mod to get these walls through the rock and stuff. By the time I started rebuilding these places, the no restrictions mod was broken, and rotate it was my kind of be all end all tool at that point. I did shrink a wall to make a little header up there. Came out really nice. Put a little bench or a railing here because I did find that they were pathing over here, but they don't now that I have added in this new staircase that looks really nice and clean with that smooth movement. Look at that. That is smooth. Alright, I'm gonna go back over here. We got a big giant brace holding up the PAL building over here. This is actually a faux building. This is, and I haven't finished resizing my baskets yet. As you can see down here, I went with these smaller sizes recently because they look cleaner and there's no clipping issues. No PALs like get stuck like right here. I just haven't made it up this way yet. I need to get these videos made before I lose the opportunity. I'm not sure how bad, you know, this update's gonna break these mods. So over here we have the barracks for all of these viewing cage bushies that guard the town. I named them the Blaze Commandos because I like making up dumb names for stuff. Here is some nice views. Alright. Here's their mess hall. There's their little roster. and they have a very utilitarian military kind of beds up here. Of course, they don't actually use this. They're in viewing cages. They don't move. This is really just here because I thought it would look cool. We got these guys are keeping guard all over the place. I have not yet decorated over here. I just recently expanded this and cleaned up this entire edge path up over here. Of course, like I said, the pathing for all pals does work, so if I build something over here, they will run all the way up and all the way over, and they don't get stuck anywhere, they don't wander or roam anywhere. You don't have to worry about them just becoming like starving all of a sudden. Everyone's very efficient and very happy here. As you can see, like I said, I rebuilt this recently, so I've got to finish cleaning up this railing, resize these guys, resize the campfire, do all that kind of stuff. I mean, I'll be getting to that eventually, probably in the next few days, but today's Tuesday, and of course our update hits Thursday, so I'm going to try and get this done. None of these trees actually grow here. This is a TreeMod. This guy makes 2 mods. One replaces traffic signs with different trees, and then one replaces different barriers with different rock formations. Very handy. You'll see that I actually use that as the basis for an entire base, and because they are items, you are able to scale them. So when you'll see that this says no pals beyond sign. This is the scale that it comes out, but the regular scale of trees is technically 3. So you would put scale 3 on all of those to make this the size of a bamboo tree that grows out of the ground. Alright, now you're coming across my little water area here. This whole area is the reason why I wanted to build here in the first place. I really like these little tiny waterfalls and the big ones. I felt like I was going to be able to build something cool around them. So here is, of course, glass walkway that comes with the cowboy building structure mod. I recently, this is a blank area because I recently changed this from the main entrance to over there. We got a guy hanging out. Alright. Now instead of going up, we're going to hang it right over here. This is just some really good clutter. Believe it or not, that hanging rock is actually used for mining. As you can see, the mining setup right here. Just like I did with the logging site and pushing it under that carpet, what I did was I shrunk the stone mining area and stuck it right on the edge inside of this rock, so that if I ever need to mine, he will still see it and he will swing, but he is actually, looks like he's hitting this rock, you know, trying to make the most out of what we got. I try to put some storage right beside it so that they don't have to go very far. So we got that. And what we'll do here is, instead of taking a right, we're going to go right up these stairs. The stairs are what I've been replacing, and this is the one with the collision issue that I don't like. As you can see, my feet don't touch these stairs, and that really bothers me. It bothered me so much that I actually designed a whole new staircase and implemented them everywhere with smooth movement, because that's just ridiculous. Can't stand that. So you come here. This is Gobfin Grill. Is our little restaurant. I got a floating fire back here because I got to replace that little torch bowl. Here's where we do our flour. Some grills up on a countertop. Some stacked boxes. So it holds my completed flour and things like that. Again, I used the soccer goal here and ivy to make a trellis. I didn't go overboard up here. Um, you know, it's just the idea. I was trying to implement it and get it used, see how it worked, and I just left it because I thought it looked nice. These are two different merchants. One sells lettuce and tomato. The other sells wheat and berries. So even if you don't grow your own stuff, you can buy them. You can buy oil. You can buy all kinds of stuff. It's pretty much you can play this base any way you want. You can be completely self-sufficient. You can grow your own stuff, but there are merchants here to sell and buy to. And this is Gobfit Grill. Of course, you can see back here we just had some more, just some clutter here and there. Of course, I put a cooking pot on top of a little. Sure what is that, like a little blacksmithing area? Make that look good. You can still see the fire from the campfire in there. I feel like that really turned out nice. I like the way that looked. This was a lot of my early ideas in first round building picks. So at my other two bases, I have actually done some very different things. Yeah, this was just my first go around, and because I love this place, I could never demolish it. Instead, I just kept coming back and repolishing. I did place all this bamboo. I built all this, of course. This is my little piece area. I love this spot. Awesome respawning chest. Whenever you want, you just come over there, open that guy, respawns once a day. You can run under this bridge, but this does block you. You can't get between that. You know what I mean? So this entire area gets completely blocked off. What I have found after doing all these custom areas and making sure that pathing works properly, I find that pals like come and hang out in the cool areas. I don't know if that's coincidental, but it's pretty cool. All right, and you come back over here, and you come back. This is the bottom of my waterfall tower. I just built this little lattice. I used wooden boxes for this. There you go, wooden box. Of course, I shrunk them. I thought that was cool. I really enjoy it down here. I used the crusher mod that lets you process stone into other stuff, and I generally will farm stone and then process it here and continue it as I go. But I really enjoy doing it this way, but it's because I like to build more than I like to be out in the field, and I feel like this requires enough upkeep and maintenance with all the stone, because it requires a lot of stone. 999 coal is 10,000 stone, so like you still got to farm it, you still got to hoard it, you know what I mean, you still got to process it, it still takes time, but I really enjoy using this method. See, she's coming down here to hang out all the time, it's pretty great. Alright, so now we're going to go back this way. I really enjoy all the views here, no matter where you are, where you're looking, it's just pretty to be here. Alright, coming up here, we've got a small courtyard. I had to replace this material, so it's a slightly off level right now. I'm going to be polishing that up. That won't take but about 15 minutes whenever I get to it, but of course I've got a laundry list of stuff that I've got to go back and touch up because of how sophisticated I like to build. Those are going to get shrunk back down. This is one of my favorite things. This is my Alpha Bushi, and this is Captain of the Guard. This one's got a Flame Emperor. I thought that was pretty cool. It is Alpha. It is also in a viewing cage. It also took a specific size viewing cage to get it to always look in the same direction and be stationary as opposed to trying to walk and things like that. The monitoring stand, of course, I did increase in size so that it could accommodate the extra size. So it always looks like, of course, I, Captain the Guard, is keeping an eye over the whole town all the time, and I really enjoy that aesthetic. Bushi's my favorite pal. You can tell I put a lot of love into Bushi in this town together. Yeah, checking out the view, looking wonderful. This used to be called Incredipal. It was like the PAL research facility. It was a very basic kind of square top-down building. The pathing didn't work the way I wanted to. Large pals could not get up the steps and stuff, and this is where I had my breeding farm. So that's initially why I had to rebuild this. It just wasn't working the way I needed it to. That being said, this is the new version. Instead of being a box, I made it multi-sidal. It's very pagoda style. I keep trying new things as I go. This is a toilet paper holder that has been turned with a small cable reel stuck on it and then a campfire in that, so that it looks like a hanging fire with a wick. This seems to have turned out pretty good. I enjoy it. Here we go. This is my breeding area and processing area. A couple of other things area. Let's start over here. This is cake storage. As you can tell, I do a lot of farming. I do a lot of breeding. I like to do legit breeding, and that takes a lot of cake and a lot of time and a lot of effort. Of course, I've got a pole just sitting there. So this is cake storage. I really just did it to do it. This is Sweetums, keeper of cake. A lot of my naming comes from my EverQuest background. I like commas and titles. So this is Sweetums, keeper of cake. No other reason other than to sit here and guard this chest. Now what I've done is I've taken a breeding farm and I've flattened it and stretched it so that the box on the front of the farm is actually what you're looking at here. The rest of it is completely hidden and gone. You actually can't see it anywhere. But this is so I have permanent cake storage. I got cake in here. They never go bad. Whenever I need it, I come grab it. I throw my surplus in here when I make it. No matter what, I got a box here that keeps my cake nice and fresh. Cakey fresh. Fresh. So there's Freshums, keeper of fresh cake. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep these here. I've really just been putting them here to see. I try to see if things feel natural when you run in and do stuff. So this is my PAL processing area. Got a statue of power over here. Of course, you can enhance stuff, do what you got to do. Condensate or a condenser. There you go, condensator. This is a condenser over here. Shrunk it down, put it on there just like a regular merchant. Walk up to him, talk to him. What do we got here? Oh, you can buy and sell your pals. Also very handy to have, just kind of whatever you want. I did tried some new things here. This is my first time putting bracing on things, and really it's visual because it doesn't actually offer any utility. It's just there for looks. All of this is, to be honest. Got us a little sitting area over here, vendor area, relaxing, doing your thing area. Here are my crafting tables. I have taken large storage containers, and what I've done is I've changed their scale and put them inside these towers. This is the second place that I've used this kind of idea. Platos, one of my other places, is where I originally came up with the idea. But here we go. We've got fully functioning working tables here. We got raw materials, crafting materials. Here you go. Some nails, recipes and schematics. Here's our sphere table. Bank and rare items. Ammo and equipment. And I haven't fully named that one yet. But everything is just kind of right here, really easy to organize, really easy to run up, press R, dump your inventory, reload your ammo, food, whatever you need, potions and stuff, hit the box and you're back out. The back patio here I'm still working on. Got some inset furnaces back here. I did put some hot tubs up here. Look at this view. How could you not have some hot tubs up here? You know what I mean? That's just where it's at. You know what I mean? Hey buddy. Hey buddy. Hey buddy. I know why piles do this, you know what I'm saying? This is how I get my sanity back. We got us an awesome view out here. Man, the views in this game are wonderful, especially if you can find yourself a sweet spot. There's that entrance we started at over there. As you can see, I haven't gotten around to rescaling over here. I do have a secret area that comes down from a waterfall drop in the back, but that's currently under construction, and I won't be adding that into the video this time. That'll be later when I get that all set up again. It was originally underneath the ground here. Let me see. There we go. I've got this underground area down here that I've been working on, but it's got to be rebuilt now. I've had to basically gut it while I was rebuilding this whole tower. The integration to the underground spot is gone now, so I've gotta fix that. This is the bottom floor, of course. We're gonna go up here. The point of the staircase looking the way it does, kind of everything looking the way it does, is to make it so even big giant alpha pals can get up the staircase so that they automatically go back to their breeding farm. Here is floor 1. I love the glass, just views all around. Love that. I haven't finished this area. This is my very first breeding, or hatching area prototype. So only this floor has hatching stuff at the moment. But again, I wanted to rush and get this done so that I could get it done within the allotted window. Thumbs up if this update doesn't break this mod. Already in my work, so I can get in here and use some of the new stuff and polish it and all this stuff. If it does break, well, I've always got the video. So that's floor 2. There's 3 breeding areas, because of course breeding is serious business. Here's breeding level 2. You can see views are still good. Keeping up on the whole little theme and the railing. I love the glass and being able to see through stuff. Let's keep going up here. As you get up here, I put a whole glass roof on the top because, man, why not? Why not? Look at that. That's lit. And I mean that literally. That is sunlit. You know what I mean? Loving it. The light does go all the way down to the bottom. It's really nice. Can't really be upset at that. Now, of course, like I said, I've only got the hatching stuff on the first floor because it was still a prototype. I had to rebuild this tower, and I've been running around polishing the rest of the town as well. So, I can only do so many things at a time. And of course, that is the breeding tower. That's the power processing area. Here's my PAL box. And let's do one more. We're gonna go look out over here at the view, and then we're gonna do us a fly around really quick. And then we are gonna call this a video. Here we go, alright. God is good. Love it. I like the little things. What I did was I stuck in a cooking pot at the top of this here. So you get some smoke right outside the restaurant. And it's just always going for no reason other than aesthetics. Really enjoy that. Here we go. Alright. Back up here. Got a perimeter wall just for fun. And my friends, that is Yamato Village. This is the first of 3 projects that I've been working on that I wanted to do I wanted to make episodes of, and like I stated, if Sakurajima does not break all my work, I will be going through and kind of going over some of my building methods, I guess. I haven't seen a whole lot of people explain how to use this mod, rotate it, or go over what the uses are or what a lot of the real benefits are. But as you can see, you can really get some unusual results with a little bit of tenacity and creativity. This is all vanilla stuff. The glass, the blue roof, the wood, the white, all of that comes from the same mod by Cowboy. And then all of the other stuff was done using the rotated mod, which allows you, of course, to move stuff and scale it. And for what it's worth, while this mod does not work in dedicated servers, it does work on single player and multiplayer hosted games. That means you can build whatever you want and then copy and paste your world onto your dedicated server. The changes will remain and all of the collision will remain also. So if you stretch something out, block a path with something, pals will respect those collision and new or reduced boundaries, even on a dedicated server. So you can still make something cool for yourself. You can still play with it. If you put it on a dedicated server, make sure you don't break anything, because if you do, you won't be able to restore it if it has any collision issues or things like that, or any kind of restrictions that need to be broken. Now, that being said, I recommend highly the All Structures Invincible mod, rotated, which is what I use to do this, and the Cowboy mod, which changes structures if you want these glass and wood stone replacements and things like that. Thank you for watching my first legitimate video with audio. This was new for me. I hope this was enjoyable for you. Thank you for watching Haxley Mod and all my custom mod building. Stay tuned for more, and let me know what you think. God bless you guys. Take care.